So this right here, what you're looking at, is the sphere network model that I gave Senator Gillibrand about a year before the UAP hearings in America. As I said in the beginning, we were all going to get meetings and stuff, and then it all went quiet. And then when the event finally happened, they were talking about the spheres, which is kind of interesting to me anyway. And what you have the type 3s, which are about the size of baseballs, right down here. These ones here, these are as I said, the microwave-based communication network, the dynamic relay systems, transponders. They turn on and off, they move around, use AI. Then you have the type 2 spheres, which are much larger, basically the same technology, but made bigger and more powerful, So you have the type 2s. These are the ones that are seen over street levels, above the trees and above the buildings. They were over Iraq. That's what was shown in the UAP hearings in America, and over Iraq, I think, or Afghanistan, one of the two. And then what happens is they take the weak signal from here, and then, because that's why they're low to the ground, because they're talking to this network here, because it's a low energy signal. And then what they do is they boost that signal to or that data link to a much higher energy level, which then goes up to type 1B formations, which are much higher in the sky. And these are the triangles that everyone's seeing in the sky right now. So let me move to the next.
By the way, the what you're calling a type 2, these middle lower level, but still in the sky guys, treetop level, basically, right? That's what I saw.
Yeah.
And when I read in your book that I even quoted it here, a few hundred feet above the ground, frequently remain stationary in the air at a single location for extended periods before swiftly relocating.
That's right.
That's exactly what it was there. It was above a highway. It was middle of the day. It was silver metallic looking thing, just hanging out about bird height, where birds are flying.
That's right.
In there, middle of a highway, nothing else going on, and then gone.
That's right.
That's all it was. And okay, that's it.
So I've sent you 4 examples. Videos, and you'll see them in my X. So yeah, over areas of high topology like hills and mountains, because it's a line of sight system, the spheres have to work around it. So in order to keep the signal low, they will operate just above the tree line, and then there'll be one at the top of the hill or the mountain, and then there'll be one down the bottom. So it basically ground hugs and routes the signal over that way.
There it is. And he's gone. Okay. All right. Let's look at number 2.
De junio se presentó este objeto dirigiéndose de la zona del volcán Popocatépetl hacia la zona norte del.
And again, you see it's over a mountainous area. So it's heading over to the top of the mountains. You can actually see the trail or where it's going, how the propulsion system interacts with the atmosphere.
Right.
As well.
Yeah, like a puff or a silhouette or something. Yeah, wow. Yeah. That's so commonly seen now, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. It's like a lensing effect on the atmosphere.
Right. And even around around it, right?
Yeah, that's the byproduct of the propulsion system, is producing atomic light.
Awesome. All right, and let's look at number 3.
Yeah, so this one's chasing an A10.
Yeah.
Or at least having fun with it.
Well, by the way, nothing should be chasing an A10. They call it the tank killer.
And there's one final link that I will drop in there, because the spheres also do a thing called daisy chaining. So it's like a networking term. So what it means is you'll have one here and then another one here and another one here. And depending on the distance between the type 2s and the type 3, because the type 3 is a data network at the bottom, right? So this will only go so far, and then it has to link across the sky or up, and it might go up 5 miles each link, but it needs that link. It'll daisy chain upwards, and this is what you'll see. This is that in progress right here. There it is.
What the fuck?
Excuse us. Yeah, we're all thinking it though. Yo, look at it go. Boing. He's out. Yeah, right. So you got a chain, like you say, to
Yeah,
like a multiplier.
that's right. Yeah. So if we go to the next slide. So this was actually for a paper I wrote for Stanford University. This is a type 2. This is a picture of one, which is over a treetop. Gives the size of approximately between 30 to 50 centimeters in diameter. Observes a daisy chain around environmental elevations such as hills and mountains. The pattern suggests that they might be using a line of sight microwave-based communication network to coordinate with the other spheres and V formations.
If someone sees these, does that automatically mean the V formation is somewhere around, or not necessarily? Yes,
it does. Yeah. So this one's the type 1 V formations. These are the largest of the group, and right now in that configuration they are in vertical configuration, which means it's like a triangle that's fixed, and it was up on its side like this. And as you can see, it's surrounding this the aircrafts. So what this is, you see, is it's an AI-based system, AI-based defense network, and what it does is it triggers on anomalies in the sky. So things like air shows is a prime example of that, and you'll see these things all the time at air shows because it triggers AI because it's out of place flight behavior. So that's so in this case, it's basically checking up what these things are, and then it will just go away again. But in that V formation, the target is dead center. So wherever the center of the V is, that's where it's aiming.
Is that why your theory as to the Foo Fighters in the time period that they showed up is because we basically hadn't had an air war before?
Potentially, yeah. It's out of place behavior. So they were looking into what was going on.
Right. Okay.
So this is where it gets a bit more interesting. So this is so the first formation was where the triangle was up on its side, and in this formation the triangle's flat. And what you have the type 2, which is over here. Then you have the type 1 V formation right here. And this was actually taken over Italy, where you have the type 2 right there, and there's one V formation, and then you have another type 2 right here for another V formation. So it works out like for every single type 2 is required for one cluster of 3. So, and in this configuration, what it's doing is tracking an object directly above. And I'll show you the mathematics of how that works in a minute. So this is where it gets really cool. So if you get this, I know people won't really understand this, but if you take a screenshot of it and put it through AI, it'll explain exactly what's going on here. So what this is down here is the type 2s, the type 3s in the buildings, data network. It then links up to the type 2 here, then daisy chains to another type 2, wherever the V formation is. Then it goes, the V formation is right here, and then it's looking at the target. Now, what this thing is doing is a thing called trilateration, which is a mathematical process to track objects in 3D space. So by the formation it's producing, you can reverse engineer mathematically what it's doing. So right here, what it's doing is this V formation, if you read up here, it says it's doing a calculation to track this target in a 2D format. So this is doing 2D tracking. And then the one at the rear here is doing distance tracking. And when you combine all this data together, you get 3D tracking in space. So it basically creates a very high resolution targeting system in space.
Very effective one too.
And because it's using microwaves and its line of sight, it's near undetectable.
What is the role? Explain to me what the role of the one on the ground is to this system then.
So the type 3, that's the one in the buildings.
Mm-hmm.
So this is the data network. So this would be linking across the country to to wherever it gets controlled from. So from what I can tell, this is controlled from the ground up, meaning that the control centers for this is based on the ground.
They detect the targets?
No, that's the data network. So
they
they
communicate.
Yeah. That's like a mesh of relays on the ground.
Like cell towers, like you were saying.
Like cell towers, yeah.
Okay.
So whatever the spheres up in the atmosphere will detect the target, and then it will communicate down to type 3, and then it will figure out how to intercept it.
I see.
So then it will then go for its modeling, AI processing, modeling, and all that stuff, just like our own air defense systems.
The brain.
And then it'll come up with like an execution package, which will then surround the target with spheres. And what I can tell, it takes about 45 seconds to execute. So it is very fast. And this is a hypersonic system as well. So these spheres are flying around at, Mach 2, Mach 4, something like that.
Oh, there's a lot of videos about that. I mean, you can just see them. They're crazy, imperceptibly fast.
So if we look at this one here, there's some examples. It's like a replication example. Mm-hmm. This was taken off the UK coast, and you can see here you got the type 1b formation and the type 2 at the back. And when they're glowing up, that means they're in a high energy state, which means they're active. Basically using a lot. They're using their the trilateration to the max to just start tracking objects. This one here was taken in June 1971 in Canada. And what you see here is a type 2 right here, and then you have the type 1b formation right here.
Yeah.
And this is before internet, and this is before fast computers and networking and stuff. So when people say that this is like we reverse engineered this stuff, and it's crap, because to replicate this requires so many layers of technology that we simply cannot do. You're talking energy systems, networking systems, AI systems, all this combined together to create what you're seeing. And we can't even replicate this today. So we can't even replicate the power systems that these things are using because some of the spheres out there are literally this big. They're this big. And yet their energy system, whatever they're using, it certainly isn't petrol. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And it's certainly, it's something very, very exotic.
Right.
Here's other examples that get sent into me. So this was taken over a house. I think it was in Florida. Again, you have the type 1V formation right here, type 2 relay here, microwave link, and the target direction is this way. You always know where the target is from the position of the type 2 because it's looking directly at it. And the V formation is tracking the 2D. So because this is more vulnerable than this is always kept behind the V formation.
Okay, so wait a minute. I'm going to bring it back to my personal experience because so if this thing was basically over my head, I'm driving in a car, so it's basically over me. So are you saying that there was a target basically directly over my car?
Say upwards, yeah.
Up, yeah, going up.
Yeah, upwards.
Over. Great, fantastic.
Yeah. In fact, mathematically, you can determine the distance as well. Because on the equations, depending on the distance of the type 1 spheres, the wider they are, the further the target, and the closer they are, the closer the target.
I got you. So I didn't see any of those.
Yeah, it works out. So I think it's like 100 meters equals 1 kilometer. So if they're 100 meters apart, then the target is 1 kilometer away.
The triangular guys. Being closer or farther. How far apart can the type 1s and type 2s be that you've seen?
They can go. I think they can go very, very far. I'm not sure exactly, but it could be maybe a few miles apart.
Okay, great, so cool.
Here again, you see the same formation, type 1V formation, the type 2 at the back, and here you even see the saucer that's chasing.
Now there you go. I mean, that's the stuff. Where is that from? I forget that.
Oh, that was, I think that was, I can't quite read that.
I think it's Spanish, isn't it? Somewhere.
And then this one below was taken by a friend of mine. He took it off a cruise ship, and it was just above the ocean.
Now what? Now I was on a cruise ship a couple months ago. Why didn't I get that shot? Anyway,
But
yeah,
as you
fantastic.
can see, it's exactly the same formation, exactly the same triangle at the front
Yep.
and the back. So there's another one. This is over Barcelona in Spain. So again, you've got the type 2s here relaying across here and then up to the type 1V formation, which then means the target is up here, 1 o'clock. Then this is more examples. This is all in my book. I got really good examples in the book. This is like a screenshot. So this one here, this is all the same formations. This is all different parts of the world, all over the world, different times. And again, you see the same type 1V formation and the type 2 at the rear.
This is what I'm trying to relate to folks. This is the same pattern over and over and over and over and over and over. This buttresses the point. And when someone's trying to present a point of view, this is what gives it gravity and should make us think more than just, well, that sounds good, or I agree with that, or I don't agree with that. Well, that's fine, but show me the money, right? Like this is it over and over again, plain as day, over many locations, over many years, right? This is what we should demand to say, okay, this is valid.
And these patterns are the key to disclosure. Once people figure this out, this is disclosure.
Well, it's the most obvious kind. I mean, the most obvious to get. It's just there.
And so, as I said, these things are doing 3D tracking in space. So what are they doing? They're doing this. So this is, I'm going to show you some explosions. So we got 3 videos here. You want to grab this one here, this link here. Whoops, I'll send you, oh bollocks, sorry. I'll send you this link.
Yeah, send that one over. I've seen that, but it's worth it. Yep. Let's watch this guy.
So this was filmed in my back garden, and you see the movement up here. See all these movement up here and here.
Yeah. And
you see what these flashes deeper than this is real high up in space. It's not a plane or anything. This is, you can barely see it on your night scope. And what that is explosions in space. Each explosion is a target being destroyed.
Somebody's active up there. Now, let's watch it again. Each of these little flashes, you're saying,
is an explosion. Yeah. You can see like
and they're all in different places, basically.
Yeah.
So there's a bunch of targets up there.
A bunch of them, yeah.
Wow.
Now, if you put it on freeze frame, if you go back for a sec, and I'll show you something interesting.
Okay, freeze it.
Freeze it here. Now, people look at this right here and they just see stars, right? But what I see, because I look at data and patterns, and what I see is V formations everywhere. Like here, you got one here, you got one here, and you got one here, you got one here. Again, what you have is concise triangles of equal distance apart, of equal brightness. And when I see that, that matches the type 1V formations, just bigger versions of them. And what we've done is we've misidentified these patterns as stars.
If you didn't know any better, right? You're just looking up, you're seeing lights. Yep. Wow. That's right there.
And I'll show you this video. So when you look closely here.
Planet over there.
So first you see the spheres come flying in. See them?
Orbiting that planet over there.
Little dots.
See it?
Right there.
Mm-hmm.
Not sure what's going on here. That's weird. A 10-inch light bridge made by Mead. I'm going to be filming that planet just right there. Okay. Now check this out. I've never seen this before, and I'm actually surprised my phone's doing this. But check this out.
Now, if you freeze it,
Oh my
stop
God.
that.
It blew up. What the?
You see the triangle,
Yeah.
and that's in horizontal configuration, which means the target is below or above, which
So
is
the
exactly
two
what you
dots
see.
to the left and then the one to the right.
That's correct.
Yep. Look at that. That's a heck of an explosion, man.
And that's what you're seeing. That's what those flashes are
Right. Right. From your video, the
in the
flash
video.
is
Mm.
actually this.
That's this.
Hell. Something just blew the hell up. Something that was orbiting, and now it blew up, and it's in outer space, and it's no longer there.
Do we know where exactly this was, or like how distant this was?
No idea. I assume it's up in atmosphere. High up.
He said it was a planet, but I have a feeling it's a lot closer. That's awesome. That's amazing.
So this is happening. These explosions are happening, I would say, most nights in the sky, and people just don't notice them. And that's the truth. So we basically have a defense network which is AI based, which is intercepting external groups pretty much non-stop externally. Yeah. So what I've done was I thought I'd push my chances a little bit, and I came up with my own dog whistle, as other groups have, like Skywatcher and so forth, but they keep it all proprietary to themselves. So I just thought I'd release one to the public so they can see what's going on.
All right, let's see.
So yeah, I have sent you the link. So this was tested by a third party, so it wasn't me. And
yeah, that's not a plane. And it's flashing on my phone.
There's another one there, look.
Where?
It's right there.
Yeah.
That other one went up, didn't it? That one's going there now.
That's moving now.
Dude, yeah, I told you
Thank
that
you very
one was
much. They're not
stopping.
Another
stars.
one,
Thank
look.
you.
Another one.
Loads of them.
Watch, see if they make a triangle formation.
Yeah. Look. 1, 2, 1 over the house. That's
See, that one's moving and then it stops and then it moves again. We got 1, 2, 3, 4 that move.
Another one. To the
Ah,
left.
where?
Oh yeah,
Just to
straight
the
up.
left in between them two big ones.
oh
Straight
my
up.
God, where did that come from?
They're all fucking moving. That wasn't doing that till I put that on. Am I right?
Yeah.
Another one over. Is that one moving over there?
Dude, it stopped until the other one passed it.
Look.
So we think they're stars and they're not.
No. Apparently, Sky Spheres, this has been
They are, but there's-
Look, that,
That
oh my
one's
God,
moving
that
as
one
well.
just
Look,
went
another
bump
one straight
bump.
up. Look,
Please
an
tell me you
orange one.
recorded
Look,
that.
straight up. Straight up.
Needless to
straight up high.
say,
There's an
stars
orange
don't
one
do
moving.
that stuff.
no, and people think they were stars, and they're not.
Fuck, man.
That's crazy.
And if you look at the brightness of them, you'll notice that the brightness will all match. So you've got 3 or 4 objects with the same brightness, the same size. It's just 2 of them aren't moving, and the third one is.
Right. Wow.
So that's it. That's the end of my presentation.
How are you drawing, or what is the whistle?
So I figured out this code about 5 years ago. Is actually I used it in the buildings first to trigger the type 3 in the buildings. But what I noticed was that the type 3s were also being seen in fields making crop circles. And in one of the crop circles was a binary code. And I was actually decoded by a British mathematician. And what I did was I just copied the code, and it's a computer language. And then I put my own commands into it, and then put into a binary code. And then I put it on an app, and then I put it into a 30-use drive to test it. And suddenly the whole place goes crazy. And all the EMFs were going off, and everything responsive, and it became interactive straight away. And then people started testing it in the sky, just against, out in the open, and they said they started seeing stars moving. So I thought, okay, well, let me improve it, update it a bit, because that app was a few years old. So I updated it, gave it a new GUI, made it a little bit better, and it was released this week, and already people are emailing me saying, yes, it's working. We're seeing crazy stuff. So we'll see. I mean, see what happens.
That's pretty amazing, man. So a couple of things I just wanted to, my notes here, just wanted to bring up because it struck me while reading it. There's a link. What is the link between, because you kind of mentioned it in passing, but I showed it to my friend. We're like, what? It's AI and 666.
Yeah. So in the buildings, some like in 30 East Drive and other haunted areas, things will start showing the number 666 on temperature meters, on cameras. Sometimes, weird glitches, stuff like that. And what it comes down to is, from what I can tell, is 666 is a triangular number, and it's used in AI. So it's kind of like saying the system is armed.
Okay.
Like
and it just so happens to be the formation of your type 1.
That's right.
Also,
yeah,
system is armed. That makes sense to me.
It kind of like makes it, in my mind. It's like, it's kind of like a visual notification that the system is armed. Yeah, that's it.
Wow.
And over the years, people have thought this is like evil spirits and so forth.
Well, if you go in with that impression and then you see 666 on your air conditioner or whatever, you might think, well, I guess I was right. But that is something to think about. It's like you have a picture of it. It's like a giant number grid, basically in a triangle shape. Apparently, that's a method to, like, what do you call fuzzy numbers and stuff like that.
Yeah, fuzzy logic or something is, I can't remember from my head.
That's above my head for sure. Math was not my subject. Hitchhiker Effect. So is that basically the small orbs or spheres going on you?
Yeah. So what I noticed when I was doing the test at 30 East Drive, there was a few guys I heard about who stole stones off the driveway, and they took them home and as like a souvenir, and their home become active really bad, and it was so bad that they actually sent it back in the post with a letter of apology. Would you believe? I couldn't even believe it until I actually saw it. I was like, oh my god. But what it is, I mean, from what I can tell, how this works is that these spheres are cause contamination of some sort of radiological contamination. So imagine like a new type of radiation that we're not aware of or we can't detect. And what it does, it contaminates the ground and the buildings. It contaminates items in the buildings, including beds, anything within the vicinity of these objects. So whenever these contaminated objects get moved to a new location, the spheres will detect that and then go in there and say, right, keep away from it. And now they'll cause poltergeist-like effects around it until people get rid of it. And this has happened in history. Like there was a family, it's actually mentioned in my first book, that bought a bed for like a bunk bed, secondhand bunk bed, and they put it in their bedroom for the children. And the children started screaming and saying they're hearing voices and weird things were going on in their room and so forth. And so the parents stayed in the room, and they saw exactly the same thing. It really freaked the family out. So they got rid of the bed and burnt it. And guess what? It all stopped. And it's because the bed is contaminated. And the voices
haunted, right? Basically, contaminated. Okay, so it basically you're just saying this is your theory would say it's because it's a machine reaction. That's my job is to protect you from that stuff, or make a clear path with that. Get away from that.
And in fact, I think in history, I think like occult groups have noticed this pattern before, because what they do is they used to put curses on people and stuff like that back in the old days. And what they would do is take objects from haunted buildings and put them under your house or in the walls and stuff like that, and then suddenly their house becomes active and with the evil spirits and so forth. It's just a sphere trying to tell you to get away. That's what it was.
Right. So they were under the wrong impression, but it's the same effect.
Same effect.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. Over. So what you kind of touch on right at the end of the book is the explanation behind. Okay, so we've got the tech. This what do you call the small spheres, or the holy grail of technology? Who's doing it and why?
Who is a good question. I don't know. But all I can tell you is that it appears to be ground based. So whoever owns the spheres lives underground, because all the architecture must be underground, or inside mountains. It must be hidden in plain sight like that. In fact, I think Skinwalker is one of those locations, because when they dig down 500 meters or 500 feet, they're finding what appears to be artificial structures or materials, which would be maybe part of a underground facility. So people think that the sphere network is like an ancient system that has been just hanging around, but it's not. It's fully up to date and it's fully adaptive, and it has to be, because to deal with new threats. So what I also noticed, what's also in the book itself, is the tic tac and how that plays a part in all of this as well. So what it appears to be is, because the spheres and the tic tac are actually seen flying together in formation, and so what they appear to be doing is the type ones, or when you have an object that gets close to the ground, gets close to Earth, that means that object is more advanced than the others, because the low tech ones get taken out from a distance, but the more advanced ones, the more stealthy ones, get closer. They can get through the network down to near the ground level. When they hit the ground level, or low to ground, the spheres will swarm them and disable them, and they land in the ocean. And that's when the tic tac comes along, and it will take it out of the ocean. It will literally pick it up and take it out of the ocean and fly it away. And it's using a thing called quantum. Quantum locking, right? Which means it's like it's a quantum effect that it uses a high energy field that with a superconductor, and it locks onto the craft itself, and it'll just pick it up and fly it out
like a magnet, basically.
Yeah, and there's a picture in the book of it carrying a flying saucer on its base as well, and so that one will go off for analysis to see how it penetrated the network, and then once they figure out how that works, they tighten up the logic, they tighten up the AI.
Now, obviously, that comports 100% with the famous Tic Tac story and video that we have from the U.S. military.
That's right, yeah. Because they said it was over the water or something under the water.
Correct,
yeah.
And that's the part a lot of people either don't know or don't bother to say, which is that it was hovering over, the water was stirred up and whatnot, and there was something under the water, and the sonar confirms that. And it was doing something with another object, and you're saying it was basically trying to gather it up. Its buddies knocked it down, and it trying to extract it and take it away.
That's right.
Again, makes sense. That makes sense. Did you have this thought formed before these videos came out or after?
No, I spotted this a few years ago. It's just that I've been gathering a bit more data before I published it.
Because it would be really something if like before I guess that came out in 2017.
Yeah, it must have been around 2017, as a few years ago.
But still, point is, like, it's not Lockheed Martin.
No.
Yeah, so we agree on that 100%.
Yeah, no, not Lockheed.
Okay.
Oh gosh,
great. I don't get that either. So, but to your point, the Tic Tac is not an ancient thing either. This is one of these like an upgrade or a new device to deal with more current things.
That's right, and that's why like that case where something landed in the back of someone's yard in Vegas.
Yes, of course.
And they said they saw these big guys walking around, and you can actually see the imprint of the object that landed.
Yes,
the particular imprint. Well, it disappeared. So it didn't. If it crashed, it's not going to fly off again. Right. So something came down, picked it up, and extracted it.
Did something with it. Yeah. Right. What about the beings? What did they deal with them too?
I assume so. I mean, that's a whole can of worms. I don't know too much about that.
Put
But
them in jail?
all I have no idea. All I can say is that we have a very tight defense network that surrounds the Earth, and it seems to be in a lot of use. In fact, the problem is that we're part of the problem, because we are producing high energy signals that are going into space. All our radio, television, signaling, everything.
Basically.
Yeah. So we are broadcasting our location to trillions and trillions of solar systems. And logically, if you think about it, long-term survival of the human race probably isn't that high, because we are all it takes is for one group out there to say, "Oh, we want something you have," and they'll come and get it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think right now, I mean, according to what they say, our signaling and our emissions have reached about 100 light years. And if already we are seeing a lot of incoming traffic, like my video showed, with like 20 odd explosions going off in the sky, we have attracted a lot of attention.
And you do kind of hypothesize, you have a photo of what you would call an ultra-terrestrial, someone who you're saying shares the planet with us, and they're underground somewhere or another, hiding out, and they maybe predate us, or maybe you are even more involved with.
Well, when you model it out, it kind of makes sense. So if you have a ultra high intelligence that lives here on Earth somewhere, or a group of them that live here underground. Underground is a great place to be, because you can probably build an environment just as nice as the surface of the Earth, but underground. But also you can control the access points, so it's a very good defense mechanism. Then you have the sphere network up in the sky, and maybe up in space. So you have that's the first two layers of defense. You have the sphere network, and then you have the sphere network that's in the atmosphere. But then you have us. So we are the third line of defense. We are the upgraded primates that are very good at violence.
Just in case the planet's invaded.
Just in case something happens. Yeah.
Right. Is it possible, I know you don't touch on this at all, but just your thoughts, is it possible that this other civilization is also under the oceans, and maybe even the moon?
Most likely.
They're actually there, not just using it, but they're actually there.
Yeah, most likely. Yeah, most likely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great. Then we're crazy together. Okay, one last thing. You mentioned the energy when the spheres are going into action. Basically, that's when they're lit up, like right.
That's right.
On, they get colorful, or at least some kind of light. But there's different kinds of lights. People see different colors.
That's right.
And you do kind of get into that. Basically, it's like you get into it. It's almost like lightning. Based on the gas or the what it's electrifying, it becomes a different color.
Yeah, it's basically the different frequencies of the field, and also the gas that is passing through at the time.
Do they choose what color to be?
I was saying, well, generally no. I mean, it depends on the environmental factors, but I have seen them glow red and blue and green. So it's almost like a traffic light system of some sort. So they must be able to pick and choose the colors that they want to use. But they're all atomic colors. That's what I mean. They're colors produced by energizing the gas molecules in our atmosphere that produce particular colors.
Right. So they don't have the choice of any color they want. There's these specific ones.
Atomic light, yeah.
Yeah. So I'm sure that like the Calm Kelleher, if you see a blue one, run like hell. Accusation.
Yeah, I've heard of that. Yeah. Probably the safest point is when they're not glowing at all, like daytime, when they're just like in low power state, just cruising over the roads.
So basically, any color is probably not safe to be around.
Probably not, no, because they're in a high energy state, which means they're broadcasting and receiving high energy signals.
I understand. Okay, so like I have an acquaintance, a friend in Colorado, down the street, not in her house, but it was down the road one night, she saw one, and she just described it as an orb because it was lit up and it was a single thing and about the size we're talking about and whatever, and just thought it was really beautiful, and just kind of hung out for a while, and then it was gone, and that was that. And it was yellow or gold, type of color.
Yeah.
So she was asking me, what, and on to bring that up. But you're just saying basically it was awake and at work. That would be your answer.
That's right. Yeah. I mean, the paranormal community kind of have an emotional explanation, which is like the different colors mean different feelings or different things like that, and that's just garbage. It's atomic light, which is produced by high energy emissions from the sphere itself.
And so, I mean, like we're saying, it's possible that they could be at a different state of communicating, or they're at an energy of something or other. But it basically just means they're on, they're active, they're doing something, they're transmitting something, they're working. Don't get too close.
I've also seen them cloak as well, so they can cloak, which means that they can bend light around them, so they're not visible. Yes. But what it appears to be is that depending on what mode or state they're operating in, has an effect on their abilities. So they might be cloaked, but they might not be able to broadcast signals. You know what I mean? So it's when they're in one mode, it might prevent other capabilities, and then when they're glowing and bright, it probably means that they can do whatever they want.
Right, fully active or whatever. Okay. Wow. I think that's all of the things that I had. I love it, man. I think it's really important. I know you're if you don't sell yourself, no one else is going to do it, right? So like I understand that. I totally get it. Brandon Fugel and like all these our government. I wish my government would listen to what you have to say. Maybe they have already. Maybe they already processed it and have gone beyond it and doing something about. Who knows? Probably.
One thing I will say though is that all these hearings, U.S. hearings that they're doing, is a waste of time. Getting information out of the government is a waste of time, and it's actually to do with the way that security works on the computers. So like when they say they're going to open up a new project or new project or new investigation, something like that, all it really means is that they've got a new folder on a network drive, shared drive of some sort, and then on that folder you'll have a data owner, and then you have an access control list of people who can access that folder and what permissions they have within it. But the problem is in private industry, the data owners might only be one or two people. So if I had a folder that you wanted access to, I just have to email two people, and they say, yeah, go for it, and I'll give you access. But when it comes to government, that list is 300 or 400 people.
Yeah. And
the way government systems work is they're very badly maintained. As Doge recently discovered, that none of them talk to each other. The databases are in a real bad state. It's surprising even blooming works, to be honest.
Yeah.
So when you have an administrator who says, okay, you want these people or the public want access to this file, let me look at the owner list. I'll email them all and wait for their responses. But half of them might be dead, and the system hasn't been updated. You see, so the administrator might only get a 10% response from the list that they send out, and that isn't enough to open the file. So the older the project becomes, or the work becomes in that file, the harder it is to get out. And that's why all these hearings are a waste of time, because they can't get the information out. It's just not possible.
Yeah, I'm beginning to agree with you. One final thing that people might want to know. So, okay, you're Patrick Jackson. There's this other group of people or civilization that's sharing our world, and they have this awesome tech, and they're using it to shoot down UFOs and natural stuff, right? If there's a meteorite or a comet or something that's coming for us, they'll use it for that too.
That's right.
Right. So it makes sense. So would you put it as they're defending the planet basically selfishly for themselves, or are they protecting us?
It's more like they protect themselves and we're in the middle. because we play a role. As I said, we play a role in the defense network. We are the third line of defense. We are the evolved primates that are good at killing things. I mean, if you look at us as a whole, like a global population, what's the most common skill set that we all share, regardless of skill of our intelligence levels, right? We're all good at killing stuff.
Of course, Cain and Abel, brother. Right? It's all nothing ever changes.
That's it.
That we have
So that's kind of like bred in us. That's what we're for. And so we are the third line of defense, and that's in a way the masters don't talk to the guards, which is why I think you've got this wall of silence coming from government as well.
Right. So you would imagine this other group is probably smaller, both physically and in number, and kind of need help. If something were to happen, they would need.
Yeah, they're probably much smaller, much more skinnier, smaller, but just smarter.
Yeah.
You know?
And then because you just said it, I wasn't going to ask, but since you just said it, how exactly are they influencing government or what you said, banks to financial institutions? How would that be happening?
Well, it wouldn't surprise me if they had some sort of input to religious and the banking finance world.
Oh, right, religious, yeah.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me. Well, they'd have to have people in the actual like staff, probably high up members of staff, if not managers or bosses or so forth. And they probably look just like us, just with much higher intelligence, and that's how they're put in those positions.
Like they actually look, or they're wearing a suit, or they're.
No, I think they probably just look like us. Some of them anyway, not all of them, but
okay. All right.
I would say that the ones that it wouldn't surprise me. I mean, I can't prove it, but it wouldn't surprise me if they had a grip on religion and the financial inner workings of the financial system.
Let's leave it there. Patrick Jackson, man, it's been a completely fascinating conversation. I look forward to speaking with you again and to telling folks about your book. I'm going to leave that review on Amazon. I think it's completely worth everyone's time to read and absorb it. And it's a right now topic. It really is. It really is. It's really important. So thank you, man. And anytime, just give me a call. All right.
No worries. It's been great. Thank you very much. Brilliant.
And we'll leave your contact info in the description. All right.